What's good, guys? Welcome to The Big Broker. I'm Marlon, and today we're cutting through the Wall Street noise to talk about where the smart money is actually going right now. Look, if you're living in the US right now, you already know the deal. The system is rigged. You go to the grocery store, and a basic run costs you 30% more than it did a few years ago. You look at rent in any major city, and it's absolute comedy. The traditional financial advice? Oh, just save 10% of your paycheck in a savings account earning 2%, while inflation runs at 6%. Yeah, okay, boomer. That's a mathematical guarantee that you will work until you die. You're here because you know that's a scam and you're looking for the exit door. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to build a crypto portfolio with a starting capital of $3,000 to $5,000. Now, if you have $50,000 to invest, cool, the exact same strategy applies. But we are doing this with a smaller stack today to prove a point. Because right now, in 2026, we are sitting in the absolute perfect window of opportunity. We are going to structure a bulletproof portfolio designed specifically for this exact moment in the market cycle. By the time this video ends, you won't just have a list of coins. You're going to have a strategic framework that hedge funds use, simplified for the everyday guy. But real quick, before we dive into the charts, I need you to do me a favor. If you have that one friend, you know exactly who I'm talking about. The guy who works 60 hours a week, grinds his gears off, but still can't seem to get ahead because inflation is eating his paycheck. Hit the share button right now and send this video to him. Don't just like it. Share it. We either all make it out of this rat race together or nobody does. Send it to his DMs right now. All right, let's get into the matrix. If you want to understand how to make life-changing money, you have to zoom out. Stop looking at the 15-minute chart. Stop watching the daily noise. You need to understand the 4-year macroeconomic cycle. Historically, Bitcoin and the broader crypto market follow a very specific rhythm. It's almost like clockwork. We typically see 3 years of upward momentum, the bull market, followed by one brutal year of capitulation and finding a bottom. 3 years up, 1 year down. 3 years up, 1 year down. In 2025, we had a crazy run. We saw Bitcoin smash through the $80,000 mark, pump all the way up to around $126,000, and then settle back down. Now here we are in 2026. This is our 1 year down, or our accumulation year. This is the year that shakes out the tourists. The people who bought the top because their Uber driver told them to are selling at a loss right now. And that is exactly when we step in. This is the accumulation zone. Because in 2028, we have the next Bitcoin halving. The supply gets cut in half again. So everything we do in 2026 is strictly preparation for the massive supply shock and the 3-year bull run that follows. But it's not just about the crypto cycle. Look at the macro environment. Look at the Federal Reserve. We are seeing inflation finally cool down a bit, and the labor market is starting to show cracks. When the labor market weakens, what does the Fed do? They panic. And when they panic, they stop raising interest rates, and eventually they pivot to cutting rates. When interest rates go down, borrowing gets cheaper. Liquidity floods back into the global markets. And where does that liquidity go first? It goes into risk on assets. It goes into tech. It goes into Bitcoin. It goes into crypto. So you have the Bitcoin halving cycle aligning perfectly with the global macroeconomic liquidity cycle. The stars are aligning, guys. The foundation is being laid right now. The people who make millions in crypto don't buy when everyone on Twitter is celebrating. They buy right now, when it's boring, when it's quiet, when we are forming the bottom. So how do we actually deploy this $3,000 to $5,000? If you just throw it randomly at meme coins, you are going to get wrecked. You need a structure. I'm going to break down the exact portfolio allocation I use. I call it the barbell strategy on steroids. We want maximum safety on one end and maximum asymmetric upside on the other. Here's the breakdown. 40% in Bitcoin, 40% in cash or stables, 10% in blue chip altcoins, and 10% in alpha and education. Let me explain why. Number one, 40% in Bitcoin. This is your anchor. This is your digital real estate in Manhattan. When the traditional banking system fails, this is your life raft. You do not mess with this 40%. When the bull market gets confirmed, which usually happens when Bitcoin crosses and holds the 50-week simple moving average, this portion of your portfolio will carry your overall wealth upwards steadily and safely. Number two, 40% in cash, stable coins. You might be thinking, Marlon, why am I holding 40% in cash if we are at the bottom? Shouldn't I be all in? Absolutely not. The market is designed to test your psychology. We could see a sudden flash crash down to test support levels. If you are 100% deployed, you have to just sit there and watch it bleed. If you have 40% in dry powder, USDC or USDT, you get to be the sniper. When the market bleeds, you buy the blood. Furthermore, that cash isn't just sitting there doing nothing. We'll talk about how to make that cash work for you in a minute. Number three, 10% 10% in blue chip altcoins, mid-risk. This is where you place your bets on the foundational infrastructure of the future internet. For me, this is Solana and Ethereum. Now pause. Let's get a little controversial here. I want to hear from you guys. Go to the comments right now and give me your honest, unfiltered take. Is Ethereum actually dying? With Solana's blazing speed and transaction fees that cost a fraction of a penny, is ETH just a boomer tech dinosaur that's getting too slow to adapt? Let me know down below. I know the ETH maxis are going to come from my head, but I want to see a real debate in the comments. Drop your thoughts right now, and I'll be replying to the best arguments. Whether you choose to split this 10% between Sol and ETH, or go all in on one of them, this is your medium risk play that will heavily outperform Bitcoin in a bull run. Number 4, 10% in alpha and education. This is the secret sauce. This is what separates the guys who turn $3,000 into $6,000 from the guys who turn $3,000 into $50,000. This 10% isn't for buying tokens. It's for funding your active participation in the market. Let me tell you how I personally operate in this space. Most retail investors just buy a token on Coinbase and close the app. That is passive. If you want to make the real money, you have to be active. You have to extract value from the blockchain. For example, I don't just sit around waiting for charts to go up. I use technology as leverage. I've been heavily involved in deploying Python Nano-Agents running on artificial intelligence. I set these scripts up on cloud servers like Contabo, and I let them run 24/7. What are they doing? They are digitally excavating the blockchain. I have them specifically designed to hunt for lost, dormant, or abandoned cryptocurrency wallets from the Wild West days, specifically between the years 2010 and 2014. Think about it. There are billions of dollars in lost crypto from people who mined Bitcoin on their laptops in 2011 and threw the hard drives away. By using AI and advanced scripting to monitor blockchain anomalies, it's literally digital archaeology. Now, I'm not saying you need to go out and learn Python right this second to make it in crypto, though it wouldn't hurt. The point I'm making is that the smart money is building systems. The smart money is hunting for asymmetric opportunities while the rest of the world is watching Netflix. And listen to me very carefully on this next part. When you find alpha, when you make those gains, or if you manage to secure a bag of early era Bitcoin, you do not, I repeat, do not leave it on a centralized exchange. If you don't own your private keys, you don't own your crypto, period. You need to establish high security anonymity protocols immediately. You take those assets and you lock them down in a cold storage hardware wallet. I'm talking about a Trezor or a Ledger. Put it offline. For the assets you need to keep hot or interact with on a daily basis, you must be using non-custodial software wallets. My personal go-to options for high privacy and security are Sparrow Wallet and Blue Wallet. They give you the control. They keep you off the radar. Don't be that guy who made life-changing money only to lose it because a centralized exchange went bankrupt. Lock your wealth down. All right, so you've got your wallet secured. Let's talk about that 40% cash we left sitting on the sidelines and that 10% allocated for alpha. How do we use that to multiply a small $3,000 portfolio? The answer is decentralized finance, DeFi, and airdrop farming. You take your stablecoins and you don't just leave them idle. You provide liquidity to DeFi protocols. You become the bank. When you provide liquidity to a decentralized exchange, you earn a percentage of all the trading fees that happen on that platform. Even in a bear market, we have guys in our private communities generating $10, $20, $50 a day passively just by parking their cash in smart, low-risk liquidity pools. But the real multiplier effect comes from airdrops. When new protocols are building their ecosystems, they don't do an IPO on Wall Street. They decentralize their network by giving away free tokens to the people who are actually using their platform early. If you take a fraction of your capital and spend time interacting with new networks, bridging funds, swapping tokens, minting an NFT, you leave a footprint on the blockchain. When that protocol launches its token, they take a snapshot of the blockchain and they airdrop tokens directly into your Sparrow or Blue wallet. We saw this with protocols recently where normal guys with small accounts were waking up to $5,000, $10,000, even $20,000 dropped into their wallets for free just because they used a protocol 6 months prior. This is how a $3,000 portfolio becomes a $20,000 portfolio without you having to buy a single new asset out of pocket. But the catch is, you have to plant the seeds now. You have to be interacting with these protocols in 2026 during the boring accumulation phase so that when the bull market hits and the airdrops rain down, you are already in position. To wrap this up, guys, the window is closing. The 2028 halving is going to be here faster than you think. And by the time you hear your neighbor talking about Bitcoin again, the massive asymmetric gains will already be gone. Structure your portfolio. 40% base, 40% cash for dips and DeFi yields, 10% blue chips, and 10% hunting for pure alpha and airdrops. Secure everything off exchange with a Trezor, a Ledger, or solid non-custodial setups like Sparrow Wallet. Use your brain, use technology, and stop playing the game by the bank's rules. If you got value out of this video, hit the subscribe button right now. We are dropping absolute heat on this channel every single week, exposing how the modern financial system actually works and how you can exploit it. And like I said at the beginning, don't keep this to yourself. The algorithm loves a good share, but more importantly, your friends need this information. Hit the share button, copy the link, and drop it in your WhatsApp or iMessage group chat right now. Ask them what they think about the ETH versus Solana debate we started in the comments. Let's wake people up. I'm Marlon. This is the Baked Broker. Stay sharp, stay secure, and let's get this money. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.